If there is one thing that makes the difference between flailing around with the poi versus gaining fluency with them, it's this: practice. Specifically, the time you spend practicing. It's an investment into a thing you enjoy, but it can also be difficult to achieve. So how can you make your practice a habit, let alone pick up any habit? That's the topic of today's video. Drex here from Drex Factor Poi, sharing with you the love of poi spinning and flow arts to benefit your body and brain. And today, I'm going to share with you my best tips for creating habits, so you can make practicing with your poi one of them. Before we dive in, I just want to give a quick shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Flow DNA, Flow Fests, Flow Toys, Juggling Calling, Pyroterra Light Toys, Spinballs, and Ultrapoi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all these amazing companies and the work that they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by checking out the links that I've got down in the description of this video. And a special thanks to the first non-business friend of the channel, Johnny Howard. Thanks so much for your support, Johnny. So, I was that guy that got kind of ambitious in quarantine. Not only did I produce a tutorial every weekday for 12 solid weeks, but I also picked up a lot of habits that people frequently claim that they want to make routine and fail to. I run regularly as well as stretch. I also now floss my teeth regularly and even have made my poi practice more regular than it was before the pandemic. How did I pick up all of these habits while the rest of the world was slowly going mad? Well, I know a thing or two about building up habits, and that really helped. Let me share with you some of the techniques that I used. Number 5, start small. If there's one thing that I see people doing that absolutely kills any chance they may have of being successful in picking up a new habit, it's trying to go too big too soon. These are the people who flood into the gym every New Year's only to be gone in another month, or swear that this is going to be their year to pick back up their props and write that amazing performance piece they have locked inside their brains. You know what's hard? Committing to running 4 miles a day. You know what's less hard though? Committing to running for 5 minutes for the next week. In my case, I have a friend who sent me a really helpful website called Couch to 5K that had a nifty little spreadsheet that builds you up from running just a few minutes a day to being able to run a full race. I found this helpful not just for building up the habit slowly, but also because the first time I tried to take up running regularly, I injured myself because my body needed to build up the muscles and stability to do it regularly. This helped so much to do that. Similarly, you don't have to commit to practicing an hour a day to start. Maybe go with 15 minutes every other day to start with and see how that works for you before you add more time. Which also gives me a chance to plug a thing that I offer. One of the rewards on my Patreon is a weekly lesson that gets sent straight to your inbox called the Flow Circle. It's meant to be a drill that you can do for 15 minutes a day to improve your poi skills without taking a huge chunk out of your day. If you're pressed for practice time, this is a great way to maximize the efficacy of your work. Check that out over at patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi. Next up, number 4, use incentives. Do you have a thing that you like to do regularly, like, say, play video games, watch TV, or popping a cold one at the end of the day? What if you made getting there contingent on getting something else done first? Again, one of the most effective rules I made for myself when I started running was that I couldn't eat breakfast or get started with my workday until I'd finished my run and stretched. Because I'm self-employed, I get wicked anxious when I'm not working, so in needing to get to work, I would have to get through my run first. It's not a perfect system. There are absolutely mornings when I kind of take my time getting there, and believe you me, it has not made running fun. But it has meant that I keep up the habit, even on the days when I really don't want to. So maybe make it a rule that you can't play video games unless you've spun for a half an hour beforehand. Maybe cracking that beer doesn't happen until you've read 10 more pages of that book that you've been working on forever. Give yourself something to look forward to once you've completed that task. I swear, it does help. Granted, you have to be able to tell yourself no when you're really tempted to cheat, but self-control is one of the things that you can build in this fashion. And if you need help getting there, you can always. Number 3, create rituals. So this is the thing that I'm probably best at when it comes to new habits. If you can turn your new habits into a regular ritual, it's kind of like classical conditioning, and your body and mind get set to expect it rather than trying to avoid it. For example, when I started flossing, I already had a ritual that every morning I would shower and then brush my teeth before I got dressed and started the day. So I just inserted flossing my teeth in as a step before brushing them, and it became a thing that I expected rather than had to hassle myself about. Likewise, when I practice flow, I usually start by doing the 24 form of Tai Chi. It gets my head in a space to focus and work, and it's also a great way to get my body warmed up and ready for more movement. So what are some things that you can turn into rituals? Maybe light up a stick of incense and sit and meditate for a couple minutes before you start to flow. Have regular music that you turn on to get your body and mind ready for a given task. There's no wrong answers here. But if you've got a specific reason you want to pick up a habit, Well, number 2, set goals, short, medium, and long term. So here's the thing. Sometimes the thing that you start doing is really just a proxy for a thing you want to get to down the line. Be it getting down all the poi tricks in a particular video, losing weight, writing a novel, whatever. And it's helpful to keep track of those goals in the near, medium, and long term. For example, one goal I have for the final quarter of the year is to put up a new course on my learning site. That's a really big goal in itself, so in order to make it less daunting, I broke it up into smaller pieces. This week, my goal was to outline the course in order to see how much content it was going to wind up being, and I'm pleased to report that I already reached my goal. Next up, we'll be seeing if I can get a script done every day or two, and then there will be shooting video and editing. Likewise, my goal for this day is to shoot this and 2 other videos, which I think is totally doable, and I hope I make it. So before I share with you my final tip for building habits and making your practice regular, I do have a huge favor to ask. If you've come this far, it probably means you're into flow arts content, practice tips, and more than that, just the stuff that I create. If that's the case, please subscribe to my channel so you know exactly when I drop a new video. It also helps my channel grow. So my final tip to help build up those habits, number 1, reward yourself for keeping your habits. Now, if all goes well, eventually the habit, the practice itself, will become its own reward. In the meantime, though, you can absolutely reward yourself for reaching different milestones. Sometimes after a difficult day of shooting content, I'll order a favorite meal from a local restaurant. After making my financial goal last year, I went out and got myself a HomePod. Maybe you decide that when you've learned all the tricks in an old tech poi blog, you'll reward yourself with a new set of fire poi. Not every reward has to be indulging in buying something, though. Sometimes it can be as simple as sitting down and watching your favorite movie or taking a bath. Self-care is important after all. And sometimes you discover your reward inadvertently. My first trip to a dentist after I began flossing regularly was the first one I've ever had in my life where they had no tartar to clean off of my teeth. Not having to go through the unpleasantness of having my teeth scraped down to remove this buildup? Yeah, that was definitely its own reward. So what do you think of these tips? Do you have any tips you found over the years that help you build up regular habits and keep your practice a regular ritual? What are they? Leave me a comment and let me know. Real quick, I just want to throw out a huge thank you because this video would not be possible without the kind support of these wonderful people right here. These are my Flow patrons over on Patreon, and they, along with the people listed down in the description, help to make this video and all the videos on my channel possible. Do you like poi content? Do you like tutorials, flow sessions, and vlogs on flow arts culture? Consider signing up to support my work. I want to bring flow arts to the wider world and help people connect with their brains and their bodies through prop spinning. So help me do it. Head on over to patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi and sign up. You can do that either by clicking on the card that just popped up on YouTube or by using the link down in the description. Not only will you be supporting this mission, but you'll also be able to get early access to all of my content, a vote in what content I produce in the future, and a host of other awesome rewards such as getting a special weekly poi lesson delivered straight to your inbox that is available only to my supporters. Go give that a look, and please consider supporting this channel. Thank you in advance. All right, well, now that the whole world knows about my exercise and dental habits, I'm gonna go record some actual poi videos. If you'd like to see more of these video blogs on a variety of topics around the flow arts, please check out the link I've left in the description as well as up on screen if you happen to be watching on YouTube. Make sure to get outside and get your flow on today, and I'll see you with a new video on Monday. Thanks for watching and have a good one. Peace.